lost Johnville.
And we lost, but we're live right now.
We are live, and we're going to bring Johnville back on. Hey, everybody is here now. Welcome to Spill the Immunity. We are having all kinds of technical issues, so bear with us on this fun, exciting Thursday after an amazing episode of Survivor 50. I'm here today with my co-hosts Alex and Brandon, and we have a special co-host today. Johnville is joining us. Brandon, tell us a little bit about Johnville and how you two met.
Oh, first we're allowed to have technical difficulties on our live show. It's allowed to happen just as long as you can lie on Survivor. That's allowed, right? We can lie on Survivor. This can happen. We're going to lie on Survivor. So this is Johnville. Johnville is from the great state of Indiana. She has been a fan she's going to tell us how long she's been a fan for. Johnville, when did you first start liking Survivor? Who's your favorite? And welcome to our show.
Hi, thank you so much. And I'm so happy to be here. And yeah, we're allowed to have technical difficulties. I mean, we live in a techie world. It's just how you fix them. You can have them, just can you fix them? So you guys are good because you fixed them all. Well done. Yeah. So I have actually been a Survivor fan since the very first episode. I started watching it 25 years ago. So that would have made me, oh my gosh, 14. So I've been watching it like as part of my family since I was a kid. But what got me and the only reason I continue to watch it for the rest of my life and will probably be that way forever was the first season that he did not marry me, and I guess I'll get over it. I have a great husband now, but I was really hoping as a child at season 13, Cook Islands, when Ozzy Lust came on. So I am a huge Ozzy fan. You can see I'm wearing my orange buff to promote Sela. I was real nervous this last week, so no comments. But yes, I've been a Survivor fan forever. Yay.
Awesome. Welcome back all the way when Sonia was playing Viagra songs on the little ukulele. Look how far we've come. Now we're talking about poop for half the episode. Oh, hold on. 1 second.
Well, we know where we fit in Brandon's life. We're bottom of the barrel. Yeah, I mean, I want to say I started watching the first episode when I was 14, but I was not 14 at the time. But it was amazing, and I got hooked as well. We are all huge fans. And Alex, you've been a fan for a long time. We kind of all bonded over Survivor. That was the thing that really brought us all together into this group. Alex, when did you start watching Survivor?
I don't know how young I was. I was young. But I don't think my parents would allow me to watch the first season, honestly.
They were eating rats back then.
Yeah, it was more the Richard Hatch thing, probably. But I watched second season. It was second season, then every season since. And huge Survivor fan group watching it. It was a family show. Well, me and my mom. Nobody else watched it, just me and my mom. But yeah.
I love that. Brandon?
Since the very beginning of the ukulele Viagra song, all the way to them puking on the plane right after the Super Bowl when Survivor 2 came on, Australian Outback, just making sure that when people were watching the Super Bowl, I was waiting for the Super Bowl to be over with. And I'm a football fan, but I wanted to see the season premiere of Australian Outback right after that.
Remember when they used to do Survivor followed by CSI?
Yes.
It'd be Survivor, CSI, and then sometimes it'd be Survivor and then The Office.
Yeah. Don't talk to me on Thursday nights back when they had Survivor CSI. Like that was amazing TV for those 2 hours. And now we get to talk about the first 90-minute episode 2 of Survivor 50. And man, I could not sit down while talking about this. I'm so excited for this season. This season has brought back all the joy that Survivor had been missing, I think, for a couple seasons now. Right?
Couple? Several?
Several?
I don't know about you guys. I have personally never lost my Survivor joy. I don't know what people are talking about.
I'm not saying we're not joyful about this. You didn't create a podcast, Johnville. We did. Unbelievable. We love Survivor, but this is like top-notch strategy going on. We got some great clips. We got the gameplay. We got stories. And they're not outside stories of, I was in the hospital for 57 hours. Like, this is like on the island type stories that we are loving. Is this real life? Like, are we enjoying the season a lot?
Yeah, I'm loving it.
Love it. Like 2 episodes in, and I'm hooked. So, well, duh.
Yes. Yes.
We're seeing I think we're seeing just the reasons that we love the game are playing out in front of our eyes. We're getting the things that we wanted. I, Clutch My Pearls, will think that Suri, who is my favorite on the season, just being so masterful in doing what she does and changing the narrative and shifting things around. Now, they did get a little Aussie vote in there, but like, she is really shifting things. And even though people know what she is doing, they're still like kind of going along with her. And it's stuff like that. Like, we're seeing Suri be Suri. She's Suri in the whole thing, right? And Coach is coaching, and Ozzy is Ozzying, and it's what we want to see.
Okay, but hear me out, and I need to like not be judged by this. I love Suri. Whenever, typically, this seems like it might be a new season, but my trust has been broken so many times by her. I don't know how I feel, but I love Suri. But every season she's played with Ozzy, she has eventually always been his like demise, his downfall. Like, he trusts her and she gets him out. So if I could see Suri on her own, I'd be like, yes. But when I saw her with Ozzy and on the same tribe again, I'm like, I can't live like this again. She's gonna betray him immediately. And then to see what happened on episode 2, wow. I was completely shocked. I don't know when we start talking about it. I feel like we're jumping ahead, so I don't want to get too deep into it. But I do want to say, mad respect for her, and my heart was thumping out of my chest the entire time.
Okay.
We can definitely jump right into it. I love that. And to what you're saying, here's the thing that I think Ozzy is doing right now that I think won't take us down that same road. I think he is being very intentional. He knows where he sucks. He knows where he needs Suri, but he also knows that he'll cut her before she gets a chance to cut him, if he can. I think he's going to be a little better about it, but I'd love to hear what Alex and Brandon think of how things are shaping up right now.
Me? Okay, I'll go. So he knows I've been waiting, just waiting on this. Ozzy will make the mistake eventually of letting Suri go too far, or he'll go all the way to the end with her and lose to her, just like Suri did with Poverty on Australian versus the World. Suri is playing Poverty's game from that season. You got to go watch Australian Survivor. She is commanding every single vote that is out there. And she's playing within Christian's Hubicki's strategy of, hey, let's just make sure that we have a cohesive, solid unit by making sure that no one's going to be mad about whoever we vote out coming back. I think they're scared of Ozzy being mad. We've seen Ozzy kind of be a little not cutthroat, but he does like to, when he's shell-shocked, he does like to have revenge against whoever it is, or does have a little pissed-off attitude about his game. So I think Suri is Suriing, but it's within Christian Hubicki's, like, let's keep a solid unit, and that's exactly why Savannah did not go home for any other reason, but no one else cared if she went home. Ozzy, there would have been some smoke. Suri would have been some smoke. Joe, maybe some smoke. I don't necessarily understand that too much, even though maybe it's keep us in the challenges, like we need to win sometime type thing, because I don't know that the swap's about to happen. So
for real though,
I think Ozzy will lose to Suri somehow, will not cut her throat the whole entire season. I'm saying.
I mean, if it's not going to be Ozzy, I want it to be Suri, but I don't want her to be the reason he goes home. That's all I'm asking.
We can't make promises here. Alex, what do you think?
Yeah, that's all I'm asking.
Yeah. I love the season. I think it's great. Recap of the episode is, just besides the beginning of the episode, which I think could have been cut out to include that. That's a little vicious, man. Give the guy a break.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
So
I was
neat.
so disgusted by the way that they reacted to that. I was so agitated with Joe. I think it was Emily who walked up and all that laughing. I'm like, that's not funny.
I think Emily was kind of like laughing because Joe really thought it was hilarious.
It was just not.
Like it like that's the intro to the show. Like, I think Christian's kind of like, I mean, it's embarrassing, right? And he has the sense of humor where, but just to include that, it had no relationship to anything. It was just like, let's embarrass Christian. Like, how many people have done that on Survivor, which I'm sure is common. and they do it to Christian because he's like this nerd. Would they have done that to anybody else? Like, I don't think so.
Would they have
And
done
He's
it
able
to
to kind of
Joe?
laugh about it. Well, I'm sorry.
Would they have done it to Joe?
No,
Right.
I
Would Joe
agree.
think that's funny?
What I don't think it would have been funny if Joe did it. Like, and he would have told you it's not funny.
Well,
Christian,
I don't think. Sorry, go ahead.
he has such a humor about himself and an easygoing, nonchalant, laissez-faire piece of him
Yeah.
that, you know, I don't know if I would want to see that. If I had to pick who I want to see that from, never been asked that question. It would be a Christian because he's so great at just casting things aside. And I mean, you know, that him tripping at the end of Tribal Council, you know, we might see a lot of different Christianisms throughout the season of him stumbling intentionally and unintentionally.
Well, I'll say this too. It was a rough episode for my top 2 picks, which were Christian and Coach. They were both falling apart here at the beginning and stuff. And no, but I really felt for that. And like, that's just so wrong for Survivor to include that. They have so much to show. Why show that? So whatever.
And just for the record, in case you're wondering, everyone should have seen it, right? Like no one's on here that hasn't seen it, right? So they know that there was a gastrointestinal issue that happened to Christian early on, and it was very sad. So I just want to make it very clear. It was not okay, and I didn't like it. All right. Go on, Alex.
I didn't like it either.
No.
I love Christian. He's so likable. I mean, he's such a likable guy, and you know, but you know, Brandon's right. You know, he made this kind of humor, and then, like you kind of question, like, does that happen on Survivor? Like, you know, it's a super stressful situation. You're only having coconut. You know, it's all these things, and that is something that you think about. And yeah, it does happen a lot. And I don't think they would have exposed another player like that. Okay, so moving on to the episode is because nobody wants to talk about this any more than we have to. Personally, for me, I think it's gross. But Christian is really playing a really good game. He's managing his threat level a lot. I think, you know, I want to call him Davos. Who's his partner? What's his Devins, right?
Devins.
So Devins is really kind of they kind of have this play where Devins is Spock and Christian kind of has to keep his likability down, and he's kind of acting like a klutz, and he's doing all these things to kind of lower the threat of himself. I feel like, I think he's still a threat. I don't think you can get off of him as a threat because look at him with Joe versus look at Devins with Joe. Christian is able to understand Joe, able to communicate with Joe, say pretty much the exact same thing to Joe. Yeah, that was so funny. That
You're okay, really Joe. Everything's going to be fine, Joe.
That was
rocking
so
him back and
creepy.
forth.
That was so
Rocking him
creepy.
back and forth.
I got you. You're fine,
So
Joe.
I think he's actually doing a really great job. He's sort of insulated. I think that they want to go after him, but they'll probably go after Devins. And then Emily's super like she's not even on the radar. But yeah, I like Christian. I'm rooting for him. Okay. Then
can I sneak in real quick? So I think the reason, and this is the last thing I'll talk about crap, is you don't show that scene for as long as you do unless that player is going to stay in the game for a very long time. I say that for this reason is I think they're trying to give you a whole entire cut of what Christian has been through, the funny, the sad, the serious, the strategic. It's way too early for a winner's edit, but I think we should keep in mind just how much Christian we are seeing in that tribe, kind of getting everything. I'm telling you, it's looking really good that Christian's in it for a long time.
Last couple of things on Christian is I think he's his pre-interview into the game was he believes that Survivor's about narrative control and certainty, and then came out in this episode, certainty about the narrative, and people want certainty. People want a safe thing. People are looking for safety, which is why Savannah went home. Christian did kind of, I think, direct that vote in a large way. Mm-hmm. And they keep Joe because Joe's safe. You know, Savannah had this kind of secret advantage. She has some kind of alliances on the other tribe. Joe doesn't. Yep. And so Savannah's a question mark. Joe, although he's difficult to work with, they can just coddle him. Joe, talk to him like Joe needs to be talked to, and then cut him at any time. He's not really a threat.
Really?
But
I will give you all of that. I only disagree with one part. I give you all of that, except for I do not think I would give him nearly any credit for the vote this time. That 100% goes to Suri, unless the cuts were so fantastic that, I mean, Sari worked the game. The only person who tried to turn after Sari got in everybody's head was Savannah. And little did Savannah know she should have worked a little harder because she peeped Sari immediately. She's like, hey, she's only doing this for Ozzy. We got to watch her. And everyone's like, yeah, you're going home. But like, I don't know. I can't give it to Christian. I'm not in love with,
I'm not
a
saying that
Christian
he
fan.
drove the vote, but he allowed the vote.
Allowed.
He doesn't want to drive the vote because he wants to lower. All Christian's doing right now is lowering the threat, in my opinion.
I
I'll give
think
it to you.
Suri got it away from
You can disagree.
Ozzy, sent it over to Savannah. Like, oh, hold on. Suri thinks I'm talking.
Because all Christian wanted to do, like he said, all the previous votes, he's like, what's consensus? What's consensus? What's consensus? It's not, this is what I want, or this is what I think. He's just looking for consensus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I don't think a lot of the, I think we would see something different out of Christian if the decisions that were the people they were putting up would have a huge detrimental effect on his game. I don't think any of the people going home would really affect his game in any way. So his goal was, as long as it's not me, right? It's like, I want to do something that's the right step forward, but I'm going to be really not pushy about any of it because I don't want all eyes on me. Who pushed this vote? Who was the one that said, write my name down, right? Kind of a thing. So when Ozzy comes back, right, with I've now gotten some votes from this, Christian is not going to be in his line of sight, which is very important to Christian. And he knows that Ozzy also knows that Sari is the one that really shifted the game. So anyone that's then mad that Savannah went home is going to be looking towards Sari. I mean, one of the things I think we have to keep in mind at this level of game with all of these returning players is it goes beyond just surviving and getting through the next vote. We are talking about layers of things, and we've seen it. They've been showing us, like everyone's saying, Ozzy's been, just been like brutalized by Sari because they get so far together and then she cuts him, right? And we know this. And so there's a lot of layers to all of these decisions. There's a lot of layers in how these other players are going to view, like, nobody on that tribe is going to give two hoots about Savannah. Now we're going to get a shift and a swap. And now the people that really wanted Savannah to be there, we don't know what Riz is going to be like, the Riz God. Geez, we're going to have all kinds of mayhem. If they get farther in the game, I'm just saying there's so many more layers and people remember things, and it's going to be a different gameplay than we have had for the last 10 seasons. So we got to be ready for, these, they're I can't even find words today. I don't even know why, but there's threats that people are just going to hold on to those grudges.
What I think that, Sari exposed her hand this episode, that she was protecting Ozzy so obviously. And so there's they kind of marked them, right? And that's kind of, so they kind of had her beat. But I thought it was interesting. We got to look into kind of what is Sari's gameplay. She's so masterful at what she does, right? She's very good. She got to the end of her traders. What is it that she does? Because she doesn't ever take a really strong opinion about things unless she really, really has to. And she's known for kind of being nobody really sees her as a threat, but she's this huge threat. And so what does she do? She gives people let's look at the options, right? What are the pros and the cons? And that's how she seeds things into people's minds, is to have them tell the pros and the cons to her, and then they convince themselves. I thought that was an interesting insight, because I don't know if we've seen that kind of this is how Sari works, and is that something that she's learned through all of her experience? And that is eventually what convinced Emily, right? She
slows people down. If things are moving faster than she wants them to, she says, hey, let's think of the options. She said, hey, here are the three people that are up for grabs here. Let's really talk this out. And she's saying this to Emily, who's not necessarily even an ally of hers too strongly at this time. So what a way for her to kind of pick the person that she think can probably be the one that she could shift over, rather than talking to a Christian. We didn't see it. Maybe the edit maybe they did have a conversation. I don't think that she thinks that she can control Devon's too much, but I thought she did glorious. I'll give Suri some credit for this because she's still my winner pick. I love her. Her talking to Devon's and kind of agreeing with Devon's like, oh, of course you can't lie, and playing around and
That was
being
fun.
very agreeing with Joe or with Devon's, which you need to be. At the same time, that could have went a different way entirely. We can talk about more of the Joe-tation, as Christian calls it. But kudos to Christian again and I think the net scene, they showed Christian in a way that said, hey, I'm going to be completely subservient to you by being underneath the hammock that you are resting on. And then I'm going to push you just kind of gently stir back and forth, because Devon's and Joe, their conversation wasn't going anywhere. It took Christian to get Joe to continue to understand. And Joe even said at Tribal, hey, like, I was at fault. And for Joe to say that, not that he's this high and mighty, prideful guy, but Christian changed Joe's mind in that situation, which was wonderful. Suri didn't. Christian had to, and he did.
Yeah.
That's going to be an
Well,
interesting.
I want to move us on to what I think was one of the best moves of the game, and another masterful. We're getting what we love from the people that we love. Like, my last recollection of Devon's playing the game was his insane idol play and the fake outs and all of the things. And we're getting to see how he is already preparing that move, that plan that he put together with Christian. I believe will come late in the game when we see it like transpire. I totally believe we're not going to see that again for a while in this game, but the plan that they created, Christian falling just to side, like everyone's back is turned to get their torches at Tribal, and their backs are turned, and then Christian falls and really like sucks in I don't think even Jeff saw it. I think only the cameraman saw it. I think that totally took Jeff's attention as well when Devon planted a fake idol at Tribal Council. I love his mind. I love how he's thinking, and he's plotting and he's planning, and I cannot wait. I hope he stays in for a long time because I got to see this play out. What are y'all thinking about that? Johnville, you got something to say?
No, I'm just like, how is that fake idol going to mean anything in the moment? It's cute. It's funny. But like when the moment comes and they go to grab their fake idol, it can't change the vote. The vote's already done by the time Jeff asks for idols. So it only serves as like a ploy. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I just don't see how, unless they're playing it off as never mind. You guys can explain it, but I just got it.
I would love to take Alex. You got something?
I mean, what I see in it is that tribe is losing. They will likely continue to lose. We understand that there's going to be a mix up next time, but let's say they lose again. They have to go back to Tribal Council.
Yeah.
3 Joe, Ozzy, Suri versus Emily, Devons, and Christian. It's a 3-3 tie.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, oh, what are we going to do? Well, let's mix it up. Let's do this. Hey, we have an idol. You need to get Joe. So it's their plan to kind of go into Tribal and be like, okay, but it's also a good thing, to mix it up, create paranoia. They could use it at any time. I thought, I didn't understand the plan when they were making it.
Yeah.
And now I realize it's just that thing at the very end to kind of mix it all up, stir the pot, say I have an idol, do I? And it's an interesting way because it's a different take on the, just like, oh, I have it. And everyone calls your bluff on that. But to stand up, grab it, and be like, "Oh, I found something in Tribal." That's something that hasn't been done.
Yeah.
So,
not only does it have to be done, but no one's going to look into his bag to find fake idols. This thing is at Tribal Council already. He doesn't have to they're searching bags already. Aubrey's bag has been searched. They found nothing. Luckily,
a little too early.
Oh my goodness, that was cool. But now he's got a thing. He doesn't have to hide. He doesn't have to pretend. He could even smirk about it all day and then be like, he doesn't have an idol. What's he talking about? And then he shows up at the Tribal Council, says, oh, I got this clue saying that it's going to be right here. Hit it.
Yep.
You can easily grab it before the votes are being read. And that could have some pretty huge impact, especially when there's a Tribal swap coming up.
No, that
I
makes
love
sense.
this.
I love it too. Yeah, now that I've had time to think about it and heard additional opinions, I now realize that the way that idol could be played is they're there and you know you're at risk. You might be like, you thought I was at risk, but I found this clue. I've got this. So before they even go, they're now thinking he has an idol. Now, the idol doesn't work, but people are going to change the way they're voting because they now believe that he's going to give that idol to someone. Ooh, that's smart. Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Well, and you've seen it before where idols have been hidden in plain sight at tribal council. What was it? China. You took it right off the board. You took it right off the Jeff's podium or something, so you have seen it before. And I like it too, because next they mix up the tribes. It could be Christian. It could be Devins who goes to tribal. They might need it in different situations.
Yep.
And it's planted so long ago, right? So now it's sitting there, and so they're not going to think anything because no one has been there. Like they don't. It's just so brilliant, Steph. Oh my God, it's so brilliant. I just love it. Playing ahead. Do you remember Adam when he tried to take the fleur-de-lis off of the podium? And he's like, I thought this was an idol. Like all of these different things. So this is in, people know this stuff. So if Devins or Christian are like, they're like, you're going to see them like reading something like privately and then like looking around, and people notice what you're doing. And then they're going to be like, it's got to be right there. And then he's just going to run for it and pull it out and be like so excited that he found an idol. And you know what I mean? It's, he's going to do Academy Award winning acting right there. I just can't wait for it. I just want it to happen so bad.
Yeah.
Just a small correction. China, they had the big old 4x4 foot idols that were above in the tribal areas where they slept and ate and stuff like that. But I think Australia Survivor had an idol someplace hidden. But there was a fleur-de-lis. So what a callback to that whole entire tribal. I can't wait to see, not only will Devins use it, but will Christian use it? Will either one of them use it when they're on a tribe where the other one's not there and say the story and all the things? So like, it's a perfect trust thing between the two of them. There really isn't too much like, oh yeah, this is what he did. We should get him out. Who are they going to believe on that kind of thing? So I think it is a excellent way for the two of them to have something between them available without anybody trying to find it in their bags, which is a thing, obviously. I
mean, I just talk about trust issues. And people saying things. We started this episode, well, besides the first part of it, but at a reward challenge at whatever this was, and Coach was allowed a soliloquy of, I want to set the record straight.
Oh my gosh.
So this malingerer, which is what I've been hearing him called, a malingerer, which is someone that
malinger
fakes stuff about
teaches.
Yeah, it's about being like faking an injury and using that to your advantage. And that is, with the whole leg cramp in the water, and I'm having so many problems.
He did that in season when he hurt himself at the immunity challenge, where he like
back spasm.
Are you trying to say that was fake? Because that was a very good fake. He looked like he was about to drown me, and I was actually worried about him.
I don't think it was fake. I think he is a malingerer, but
like.
I think he's an exaggerator too.
I think he's an overactor. I think that.
I think that was real far out in the ocean, though, man. I'm like, that's a terrible spot to get stuck in with the cramp, because I thought it was real. Now I'm feeling dumb.
The fact that he didn't say anything, like when I'm cramping, I'm going to complain. I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, my leg, and he was just kind of just coaching it out there. On his back. John was worried that he was dead.
Yeah, I thought he was like dying. I'm like, dude, someone save this guy. He's clearly about to drown. Is no one seeing this? I was so worried. I don't even like Coach like that, especially after he stole Ozzy's idol in season, or not, after he stole the key in the first episode. So I already didn't like him. He's set Ozzy up a couple times. So again, not a fan of Coach, but I don't want him to drown. So
well, he got a little course corrected, I think. Just thank you. Go ahead, Alex.
Well, with all the players who set up, I'm an honorable player in the game of Survivor. It's always a losing battle. You will never meet the qualification of honorable. You know, a few people maybe do,
Joe.
but that's lame. Who cares? You know, and it's like saying I'm the most humble person I know. You know, it's like that doesn't work. You can't do. You're not like I knew somebody like that. They're like, oh, nobody's more humble than me. It's like, okay. That's like I'm the most truthful person in Survivor. It's like even if that's true, you're a sucker. So
Yeah.
having that be the hill you die on and trying to live up to that standard is just it's always going to be a losing battle and no one's going to believe it. So that's kind of my opinion of Coach. To set that as your bar in Survivor, I'm going to play this game a different way. It's like I'm going to play Monopoly, but I'm not charging anybody if you land on my properties. It's like you're not going to win. Like that's Monopoly. It's not even fun if you play that way. Like we're playing Monopoly here. Like, can you please charge people? We're trying to play Monopoly. You know, it's like a necessary component.
That's my type of house rules. Come on now.
And the fact that he took a Kyle going out of the game, which now, I mean, when I think of Kyle now, I see him like on Q's wall and like the Obama like red and blue mosaic picture with hope on the back of it because Q is playing for Kyle the rest of this game. He turns that kind of moment, that kind of Kyle left, people are crying, and Coach somehow transitions into, hey, Ozzy called me non-honorable. Like just the segue was wild.
Hey, I'm in a podcast.
Yeah, and to Bree's point, like he got a chance to like do his whole little soliloquy, and like everybody knows, we all saw it, Coach. Like it's not like Ozzy was lying; he wasn't even being mean. He said what happened, and like you're making a big deal out of it. But like I don't even blame him. I hated the move, but I get it. There was no rule that said he couldn't do that, so like I understand why he did that. But just like own up to it. I didn't knock it off. I snagged it with my tiny stick and dragged it in. You did what you did.
I loved the move. I thought it was a great mood. I don't know if it's because I wanted to see Coach be Coach because that's what Coach would do. He didn't agree to anything. He kept his mouth shut. This is Survivor. That is outwitting somebody. Ozzy. So I don't think that was not a great move, but to call it honorable is a completely different thing because now you have, like Alex said, this honorable story arc that you're never going to be able to win this game.
And you're breaking it constantly. Thank you.
Match your story to how you played. And if you can't do that at Final Tribal, you're not going to win the game. And Dee and Emily were laughing their heads off as Coach and Ozzy were fighting. So I want to get to Brennan's question. Guys, are we Team Ozzy or are we Team Coach?
Team Ozzy all the way.
Ozzy. I'm sorry. No. Alex?
I mean, if I had to pick, I'm picking Ozzy. But I mean, is Ozzy?
Watch yourself now with a simple yes or no question. Don't come for Ozzy.
Yeah, I forgot. John Mills the Ozzy lover. No, I love Ozzy.
Thank you. Me too.
What about the Shambo haircut, though? Are you on board with that, John?
No, apparently he let the fans vote for that. I heard. I did not get to vote for that, and no, I wanted to.
He let the fans vote for that.
That's what I heard. Is that he let the fans on his Instagram vote for that, and they voted for that style. So I'm giving it a shot because maybe people loved it, but I would have given anything to give Ozzy just in all his lovely glory back from his first couple of seasons, even when he had that haircut. Wow. Sorry. Next.
Johanna voted Ozzy. It's Ozzy. It's done. Okay.
Did Brandon vote Ozzy?
If I haven't voted yet, if I had to vote based on what I want to see the rest of this game, I need a Coach or Q in the game the rest of this time. Because I want to see Abby Marie back. Only because I love being like, oh, that was an Abby Marie. I love Ozzy. Ozzy was my second pick of the draft. He's my second or probably third player that's playing. But if I had to choose for who makes me smile more, it's Coach. I think Coach was right in taking that. I would rather see Ozzy beat Coach. I don't think Coach has a chance to win already, and it's episode 2. But I can't. I'm a stalemate when it comes to overall because of the two different reasons.
I'm realizing now that there's comments. So now I just think you're trying to agree with Brennan.
I know. I gotta get
It's
votes.
I
totally
didn't even
is.
know the comments were here. I can see them now.
I gotta get votes.
He's got to get some votes. Well, I wanted to share a little bit. We're going to be doing all kinds of crazy stuff this season. Let me see if I can even find the present button because Lord knows. There we go. I found it. We're good. Share screen. I am just not doing what I'm supposed to do today. Here we
It's
go.
all good.
So
I just found comments, so you're fine.
there we go. We got some things on the screen. How are our people doing this season? We had some fantasy fan players come in and do a draft, butchering it. I know, Brandon, that's okay. I want to have time for all this. So we've seen some players go. We've lost 3 so far. Who are we thinking is doing well? Where are we going with this, Brandon?
Yeah, so if you had to look at these picks and maybe you have your fantasy draft, if you do have a fantasy draft and you have some players on your team, please in your chat, let us know who you got. We'd love to talk over, give you joy, crucify your team completely, whatever you got. Suri was my first pick. I'm gonna get her name right by episode 12. I think she is playing a great game, even though she's been in the spotlight every single time on a tribe that seems to be losing everything. But let's talk about eliminations real quick. So Savannah, we all knew that Savannah was not going to make it very far in this game due to her just get done playing the winner at it. I don't think she had time to really learn how to change what she needed to change to win the game, because she even said, I can't play the same way I did. It's a completely different group of people. So I think it was cool to see that she knew that. I just thought that she needed to have trust chips built. I think telling somebody, maybe a Joe, hey, I have another extra vote. I think that would have been perfect to tell a Joe loyal type guy, hey, I need a trust chip. And I think she was just sitting back and watching the whole entire time, especially in a tribe where they're trying to build solidarity. And I think she could have played a little bit better when it comes to that. If you drop down, Kyle's out because of medical reasons. We can't do anything about that. Dee's the only winner that is still out there. So we'll see what happens with that. If 2 winners gone, helps or hurts her. And then, of course, Johnny Fairplay is really his first pick. He picked him around 3. And he even said that the winner he picks goes out first. And he did it again. He realized we're not seeing Johnny Fairplay's picks, but in our draft with him, he actually picked his own pick was Jenna, who's out. So I look here, John, Bill, and Alex, and Bree. Who do you think, if you had these players, who do you think is doing the best right now? Who should be smiling?
Go ahead, Alex.
Jennifer with Christian. I think Charlie's doing well. Jonathan, he's a challenge beast. You gotta love Jonathan. Maybe he just challenge beast everything. And then D too. I really think that though this episode, I know I'm gonna let off topic. This episode exposed Savannah. She's exposed. She's no winner. She got exposed this episode. She made no progress on that tribe. She made, I think, every wrong decision. There's a lot of kind of, debate. Was Savannah a good winner, not a good winner? I think this showed that she is a very low tier, D tier winner. And has very little survivor. I think her season was super easy. And, that's my opinion.
Harsh words from Alex. I'm going to
harsh words. I'm a Savannah hater.
That's why you're here. Go ahead. Unleash.
Go off.
Hey, what's the counter?
I mean, Savannah played her butt off for her season. Now, you got to give her that. Out of the people who were left, I do think that she was a great winner for that season because she won when it mattered every single time. That girl was beating everyone in everything. I mean, she was hanging on to the pole. She was doing things that you would not expect a lady to win over some of the men. She was getting the puzzles. So it's not like her win was an accident. They tried to get her out a lot. She worked to get her win. So she's not my favorite player. I'm happy she's gone. I mean, didn't hurt me one bit. But you cannot negate her season. She did good.
She was the best female player on that season she was on. And for that reason, I really think Sophie outplays Savannah. We have Sophie on this episode. I think she kills it, but I think that she could not make the moves she needed to make. I think on second to last episode or whatever. So Savannah had to represent. I think they're always going to have a season 49 player. I think she brought it enough to be considered, especially having that bookend of, hey, let's have somebody from season 1. Let's have somebody from season 49. So I think it was all there that did she deserve to be on?
I just don't see the skill set outside of challenges for Savannah. I think she had an alliance with Rizzo and Sophie. It was a good alliance, but I just don't think she brings I think D is, way more. I just personally don't find Savannah very likable. I don't think she's charming. I'm not saying, so that's kind of my opinion. It's I think it proved it here. She made 0 inroads with people. She got eliminated. She had an advantage. I think, Brandon, you're totally right. She could have used that advantage to say, hey, Christian, I'm an asset, or hey, Saria, I'm an asset, or Ozzy. Yeah. She chose to keep it secret. Total, of course, if you win, you're going to get an advantage. She couldn't spin it anyway. She had nothing.
And she was against Ozzy, so deuces, whatever.
Yeah. Well, call me Colby, but Riz God, both seasons, I didn't like at first, but then he warms up to you. Give Riz God credit. He is doing what he needs to do to not only survive, but thrive in this. They know he's a lazy guy, but he's starting to turn hearts and be like, okay, we'll replace you with Kyle very easily to be in our 4. So I do think that Riz God is doing much better than what Savannah did, and I think Riz God would have won the season. Wasn't a fire making challenge that him and Savannah were part of, and I think Riz God over Savannah for sure. He wins that fire. He wins the season. Even if he would have gone against Sage or Sophie in fire making and competed against Savannah at the end, give it to Riz God. And I think that we saw those 2 games, even though Riz God hasn't been to tribal, he seems to be in a very comfortable position on his tribe. Because even if Aubrey does play the idol she has, if they don't swap, which they're going to, she's going to vote out like a Genevieve over a Riz God anyways. So I think Riz God has done some great work this season for only being off 2 weeks. Bree, are you?
I'm glad you said that, because here's my thought on Savannah, and here. We're kind of liking Savannah. We think great that she won her season, and she did do great in challenges, but she doesn't understand the concept of really the immediate alliance, getting your footing in this game. We are with pros. These guys know what they're doing. She never got her footing in this game. She was never able to make the connections. If she would have swayed that vote more. She would have gotten Ozzy out. That would have solidified her space a lot more. I think if she had made this swap that's coming up, she probably would have gotten her footing, and we could have seen something from her. But I don't think she ever stood a chance in the immediate, in this first tribe that she was in. She never fully took advantage of it or showed that she had the wherewithal to be able to bring people together and do it in a way that didn't make her a threat, but also push the vote in the direction she wanted it to. She failed at that, and that, I think, is lack of experience when you're dealing with some of these incredibly strategic. You've got Christian and you've got Suri. You've got 2 people right there, and Devins, that are so smooth and so knowledgeable and so practiced. She just didn't have what it took to lock herself in and make herself relevant to everybody. And that's why she went home. So I think she does have I think she did okay in her season, but I think standing up, and that's what we wanted this season. How are these new players or new winners going to stand up and stack against these seasoned veterans? And she is the perfect example of how she did not at all.
Well, and I think I'm capitalizing that for a second. Savannah knows how to win the game, but that's not, I don't think the weakness necessarily is the fact that she's won the game. I think the weakness is you've never learned how to lose the game, or you don't know what you do when you're losing. With Devins, he has only played 1 season, but he was voted out his season. And so he has that luxury of being like, okay, this is what I did to get voted out. Now what must I do to win this game? And I think that's very powerful. I think Tony, Winners at War, he came in as a winner, but he lost the game. And so I think if you have lost the game at all, that definitely gives you an advantage over a winner who never had to worry about putting themselves in a situation where they were going home. And so I think that's where Devon's is very strong. A Christian is very strong. A Suri is extremely strong because she knows how to get it wrong a bunch of times. And I think that's huge that Savannah never had. And I'm worried about D for that same reason.
All right, I want to move us along in this crazy image that Brandon created. What do we got, Brandon? What is this?
So we are a part now of a 23,000 person group and growing. If you ate Flintstone vitamins as a kid, I still got that jingle in my head. Great job, guys. This is a poll that we do on Tuesdays, and people decide, okay, who will be eliminated. Way too early winner pick, and Vanua would eliminate this person, and they can base it on who they like, who they don't like, who they would based on their own strategy in their heads. And 49% said Savannah will be eliminated. Rizzo and D were second and third. We got it right. So we're 1-0 on Vanua, which is great. I think we all said Savannah last week as well. So far, no blindside by the fans, we don't see it as like, whoa, that came out of nowhere. We're staying consistent. Ozzy was the way too early pick at 22%, and then Christian and Joe. What do you guys think? Do you think that Ozzy gained some steps or lost some steps this episode?
I think he lost some steps. I love Ozzy. I would love Ozzy to win. I want a Suri to win. I like my favorite. Of course, I want them to win, but I do think that because he copped some votes so early, I think he's really still on people's radar. And I think that, yeah, I don't see him winning.
Okay, hear me out. First of all, okay, fine. They're never going to let him win. He's too amazing for them to let him win. The only way for him to win is to get to the individual portion and then win over and over and over again. So I agree. Despite my love for Ozzy, he will probably not win. But as far as him catching strays this time and having some votes on him, the only vote on him was Savannah. So, like, does that really count?
True.
Like, that was the only vote against him, unless Jeff just didn't read the rest.
Well, I think that he was a very possible choice for people. So even though he didn't get the votes and Suri worked her magic and sprinkled her fairy dust around and bewitched the world with getting them to all see Savannah and vote for her, kudos for her. But I do think he's still in their minds. Now, we know how things change so quickly. We're seeing a swap, so it's always going to change anyway. And if those two get split up, it's going to be really hard for Ozzy, I think, moving forward. But I think he's still for people, and that is where I see the danger for him. I think he's like, who are options, and they're going to pick the person that screwed up the challenge and is too dangerous, and then they're going to be like, an Ozzy, like he's going to be that like extra choice every time if possible, and that's where I worry. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and I think
I agree,
because he's great, but I also think I have a feeling that he's always going to be an option, and that scares me for Ozzy.
Well, he also has an additional target on his back because Genevieve gave him the idol.
But they don't know that.
Genevieve does, and Genevieve's alliance does. And they want to eliminate him, or at least eliminate the idol as soon as possible.
I thought about that.
Puts additional pressure on him. So that's kind of this dual Alipa, dual Linka idol, whatever.
Billie Eilish.
It's just putting more pressure and more likelihood that Ozzy's going to be under the microscope,
and he doesn't know where it came from. So that's actually kind of scary, because you make a real valid point, because they're about to do this swap, and if he gets on the same tribe as the person who gave him the idol, they're gonna know. He's not gonna know that that's who gave it to him, but they're gonna know that they gave it to him, and then they're gonna be pushing for him. Oh my gosh, Ozzy, you can do this. I love you.
And Coach is after him. So that's another person that,
let's
side with Coach, because he's not going to win this game. At the end, do you want Ozzy or Coach to sit next to you? Coach every single day of the week. So he's got not only the Boomerang and Billie Eilish coming after him, but he's also got Coach. And both of those people, Genevieve had a super alliance of about 4 people who know about the boomerang and know that Ozzy has it. And Coach, told the whole entire tribe how pissed he was at the Ozzy situation. So Ozzy better watch out.
If Coach is smart, he will figure out that working with Ozzy is probably the only way he's going to get far. I mean, you're probably right, Brennan. You're probably right. Only because people want to get Ozzy so badly, and it's really, really sad. But if Coach were smart, we would see him change his strategy, suck it up, and realize that for him to get further in the game, he needs to get some of these comp beasts and people like Ozzy on his side. So we'll see. That's my hope, because otherwise, I agree, it's rough looks for Ozzy.
Well, my problem with Coach right now is when he got to the beach, Jeff walked up to him and handed him a shovel, and then he decided to start using a shovel for himself. So he is digging his own demise in this game. I totally believe it. I think that if he's already we're episode 2, he's got cramps, he's been disloyal, or kind of saying, the whole just because Coach proclaimed that he was honorable in the whole Ozzy on the beach and stealing the key thing, doesn't mean anybody's buying it or cares about it or just believes that Coach is being Coach and he's going to do the coachy things that he does. And I think, all of these things, I think that's Coach just digging away at his own grave in this. And I feel like Coach is going to kind of put himself out of the game. So, because he's just going to irritate people and people aren't going to really know. And they're just going to get annoyed with him. So just normal Coach stuff.
I see Christian, because Christian was number 2 on that list of way too early pick. I think he skyrocketed this episode.
100%.
I think Devon's could have went down because now he has this animosity with Joe that seems to have been squashed for a little bit. But Joe's been known to come back and say, no, I'm still going to be against you on this. So I think Joe and Ozzy's stock go down. Christian's goes way up, and I'm excited to see what happens. Vanua did say that they would eliminate Coach, and he's one of those polar players, as we've been talking about half this episode.
I can totally see it. We've got like 2 minutes left because life happens and we've got to move along. Really excited about the season. Who's going home next week? Everybody give your pick, and then we got to wrap it up. Let's start with you, Brandon.
What a difficult thing to do when we're swapping. We have no clue what's going to happen. We will see. I wanted to make a course correction real quick. Yes, Rick did lose at fire, but he was also voted off on day 11, went to the edge of extinction and came back, and then didn't get voted out again, but was on his way to win that game. So I think that was where he got to learn on the edge of that season. So my elimination pick for next week, I did include Genevieve because I thought there was going to be a double vote out last week. It's going to depend on who falls with whom. And I'm going to say that they're going to cut somewhere from the Kalo tribe because they haven't lost yet. They haven't lost anybody yet. And I believe that the person they're going to cut from that tribe will not be Jonathan. I think we could see I don't want to say it. I think we'll see a D. I think the last winner will go because
Alex?
I don't like that.
That's a really good pick, actually. I wasn't thinking about D, but you're right. I think that's really good. Last winner will go, eliminate Samantha. I mean, she's not really. I had a feeling that Camilla would, because she would just kind of be an easy vote. She has no advantages. Is she making alliances? We haven't really heard a lot from Camilla. And I just think the tribe swap will mix it up, and she might get, she's kind of unlucky. She might get on the outside of some unlucky vote, lots of veterans, and they just eliminate her. Because you're what I hoped was old school players would take over. Kyle got out via accident. They voted Savannah off, and I think we might continue to see some. I think the old school players kind of they're doing well right now. So that's maybe wishful thinking. I liked Camilla. I picked Camilla to win her season, but on this cast, she's not my top pick. Okay. What do you think, Johnville?
I think so. I also think it's going to come from the Kayla tribe. So I think It's going to be D. I'm sorry. I think that the winners are going to be kind of picked off first. It's like, you have already won. Your $1 million is in the bank. Deuces. Like, I don't see why anyone would keep them around. I love D, but I don't see why they would. So that's my first pick. But my second pick is all right, don't come for me. I think it might be Mike White with his new super abs. I still think that he's going to be seen as one of the weaker players on the tribe. So if they lose, again, we're swapping. So wherever he lands, if they lose, I think they're going to be like, why are we dragging Mike along? So that's my 2 cents. Ozzy for the win. Hopefully his
There we
team
go.
just doesn't lose next week.
Bree, who you got?
I got Camilla. I think I agree with Alex. I think
She's
the
so
swap's
smart.
going to mix her up more. I love Camilla. I
Yeah.
want to see her kind of do the dirty, rotten criminal approach to this. But and Alex had to go. But I sadly, I think she is the, like we've said, like we were talking earlier, the non-threatening vote. Like, she is not going to be anybody that we're not going to piss people off and do all that kind of stuff. So I'm sad to say, I do really think that it's going to be Camilla this next week. But it depends. It really depends on the position. It's going to, it's Yahtzee. We don't know how these teams are going to roll out and how things are going to mix up and what separations and what things are going to change. So we could end up with a team of just all old school that end up, and we end up having an old school player go home. I think it's exciting. I love having you, John Bill. You're coming back.
I hope so. Thank you
All
so
right,
much for having me.
perfect.
This was so much fun. Thank you.
It was a blast. Thank you guys all for being here. We'll be back next week. Thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.